If you go to like my Facebook page campaign, the banner has, you know, like burning Minneapolis and it says never forget on top. Because at the end of the day, you're doomed to endure what you're willing to put up with. So if you're willing to accept it, you're doomed to endure it. It's gonna keep happening. And so you can't forget. And I know it feels great after the lockdowns to get out and feel normal and feel like, hey, we're out doing things. I don't feel like there's a squad's gonna pull up and say, hey, why are you being free? Stop that. You know, like, you don't have any of those kinds of fears. It feels easy to get back to normal. We got to remember, we got to never, ever, ever forget the kind of damage that the Viceroy up at the House did to this nice patch of land, small town Minnesota, and we need to grow our teeth back fast. So part of those teeth in this particular set of terms is voting with a ballot before we have to vote with bullets. Because at the end of the day, when people don't believe that their elections are stable, they don't believe that police can protect them, they stop using the democratic of any kind of method. We are a democratically elected constitutional republic, for anybody confused by that. But like, people stop using that particular method when it looks like it's too corrupt to work. If it's too corrupt to work, nobody wants to participate. Who wants to participate in a game that seems like you're just going to lose at? And so we have to bring back that faith, and we have to come out and vote. We have to vote just like they're throwing Molotovs up in Uptown. We have to vote just like they burned down buildings for like 4 weeks straight. We have to vote as hard as they went out and did that. In 2020, I was on the ground in the riots. In 2020, I strapped on plates and a rifle, and I stood in front of a nice, quiet tobacco shop right across from the 3rd Precinct. I stood in front, and I watched 3 young men from a Middle Eastern family, I think they were from Pakistan, running a family business, trying to live the American dream, with machetes and swords trying to keep the looters and the criminals away. It was one of the most saddening things I'd ever seen. They were very thankful when me and some gents that I knew stood up and made sure nobody ransacked their livelihood or harmed them, running around with lead pipes and framing hammers. It was an absolute travesty, and it cannot happen again. And the only way to prevent that is cleaning house. So we got to reach in there with a full arm, and we got to reject this with a full throat. We cannot watch it happen again. So I'll tell you what, the libertarians like to say taxation is theft, and I'm a huge fan of stating that libertarians only exist because the GOP dropped the ball that hard. And generally speaking, they call it a surplus. It was downright robbery. I'm not sorry. Just because I'm Minnesotan, I want to say sorry somewhere in there. It's almost like a semi-Canadian thing. It's weird, I know. But either way, like, it's disgusting that they call it a surplus when they know damn well they've been robbing us for 7 years. A surplus for 7 years running. That means we just took a bunch from you at gunpoint, and turns out we didn't need it. Also, we're not giving it back.
Yeah.
Inexcusable. There's no excuse for the fact that it is cheaper to hand a violent criminal with a gun in your face your wallet than it is to pull your weapon and defend yourself. In the state of Minnesota, that's an absolute travesty. It's inexcusable. If somebody's willing to threaten your life, you should have every liberty to stand and deliver, regardless of circumstances. Yeah. That's absolutely ridiculous. Strong Second Amendment support. Somebody asked me how I feel about AK-57s at the booth at FunFest. That was an amazing conversation. I said you should have open bolt machine guns in the back of your truck. And they said, oh my God, that's crazy. I said, well, what's stopping the guys up in Northeast from using those every night? Because they've been spraying lead the last 4 months. You can hear fully automatic fire on ShotSpotter 3 days a week. And I haven't seen an ATF agent crawling anywhere near Northeast. So looks like they kind of fell off the wagon. So at that point, all we're really doing is making sure the criminals get a bunch of fully automatic weapons, and we're stuck with pea shooters and a hope. I'm sorry, but that only stops hopes and dreams, guys. That doesn't do anything. So we got to clean this place from the bottom to top. Rip it out clean and put new people in that are going to do that job. And grassroots candidates, I had no plans to run for this office, and I'll be straight up with you right now. I just wanted to get involved because I saw this ship going down, and unlike many people, I was not interested in running to the part underwater. So I ran to the other end, and I was like, guys, we have a problem. And they're like, yeah, we know. We talk. And I show up at my Senate committee meeting, and nobody was there to run. And I had people surrounding me, shoving my chair and kicking my seat and saying, you need to run. And so when a room of 200 people says, you better go out and fight this dragon, you don't say no. So here I am. And I'm more than happy to lay waste to whatever comes my way. I'm happy to forge alliances and make bitter enemies. I don't care, because we got to get this legislation done. We got to get these laws stricken. Because every single one of those laws is an excuse to shove a loaded gun in your face. The state has no right. I thought we had that out in 1776, but here we are, a country trying to be British again. Makes me need to swallow reflexively. Anyhow, thank you, kind folks, for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Once again, running for Senate District 52, here to put my incumbent back in the box. doesn't care about your safety, he doesn't care about your freedom either. For him, that's just something else he can take from you and sell back later. God bless America.